That's as long as it's better and not worse.
That's what it is.
I'm trying to stay
There's
optimistic.
some jobs though that I try to. Yeah, last semester was.
I was really necessary. I don't know how I pulled off what I pulled off last semester.
I know.
Isn't that funny? Because it was like the most stressful time of my life, and it was the first time I ever had to do it.
I was like,
I can't believe I got an A in that class. I don't know how I did that. I don't know how I pulled myself together and did that project. I had no clue.
and I remember like you were saying, and they go to drop my tongue. They kill you.
Marta, for real? I think I spent at least 15 hours working on that project. At least.
Really?
Over the course of time. Like, not at once. Like, an hour here and now. Well, I have a lot of data to work with. I had 50
That's why I'm
people.
trying to start looking now. I started 35.
And I didn't know how to do the math. So then I had to get help to figure out how to put, okay, now I have all this data. I had two different surveys. I think he kind of gave me, like, we were talking about effort, and he saw that I was putting a lot of effort. And I know there's a couple things I messed up, but he was like, show me effort. And he kept repeating that, and I'm like, okay, well, I can't do any more effort and the effort. And I was showing it all my work to, what's her name, Dr. Lou, right?
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, you should get this published. I'm like, published? I was like, are you kidding me? She's like, let me help you get it published. I'm like, no, that's okay. I didn't delete it. I had hundreds and hundreds of 6 months to it. Oh, that's right. I'm so glad. I just didn't answer anybody. Like, that questions, I was like, forget it. I can't help you.
Some of them were like, so I feel like there's more of a chance.
I was like, no. And to beat the work even harder.
Around a little bit more. Experience.
I bought one from CBS, but you know, that's what I was just telling you. Listen. I bought one from CBS. Let me see how okay, I'm going with the training belt, right? No, yours is different. Yours is better. Does it go all the way to the bottom? Yeah, the one that I have is a training belt is up to here, but then you see this feet, but and it was y'all always get good deals. I don't never see that. In what? I don't know.
Like now we gotta get
Medium. No, your waist is already small.
Yeah.
So then I need extra large. You have a large. When I make oh, okay. But I told you I have large. That with the oh,
So, what do you guys do?
yes. We do have wait, I have
All right, everyone. We're gonna learn again. All right, so this is Rational Recovery, renamed Smart Recovery. And here are the meetings in New Jersey. As you can see, slightly smaller reach. So Brick, Burlington, Ewing, Fairlawn, Farmingdale, Flemington, that's gone. NJDOC, so they have one in jail. You're not allowed to go. Patterson, Piscataway, Pompton Plains, that's one for closed for family and friends. So that's just like a friendly and friends thing. Roxbury would be. So really none in Union County, huh?
Can you go up a little higher?
These are all like New Hampshire. So that's all they have in New Jersey. You know, New York, they have a bunch as well. So a lot of South Jersey.
Yeah. Piscataway is not that smart.
Yeah, Piscataway is the closest one. You can see this one's on Rutgers campus. So, all right, so that's just a little bit about rational or smart recovery. All right, it's a motivational interviewing. Do this. Yeah, I need Sean to come back for. I'll see. I don't want this to happen. This happened last time. Okay. So this is going to be our introduction to motivational interviewing, and then we will jump to chapter 5, separate slide. So, you guys heard of MI in other classes prior to this class? I know the practical people have done clinical practice. The ones that haven't done it, this is maybe the third. In my opinion, motivational interviewing is probably the most advanced skill that we teach in this class. And I say that in terms of undergrad and graduate school. It's a very advanced strategy that takes a long time to get good at. But when you do get good at it, it's really so that's my little spiel on that. I don't expect people to do it well in the beginning. You might get a little bit of exposure doing it in your internships with people that are a little bit resistant to change. So it's, we're going to learn the basics of it, and I'm going to show you some examples of what it looks like. Because until this isn't really the kind of role play class that some of the other classes are designed as. There's Nina. Hi, Nina.
Hi.
So.
Oh, I'm on. Okay.
The
No.
doing a lot of it, and there's just not enough time to go into that much depth and learn motivational interviewing to that level. So a lot of it will be exposure to the basics of what it is. You can see a little bit of what it looks like. I wish we could get into more about the practice, but it's just, you really have to get the things like reflective response down and orders, which is part of MI, before you can get to something more advanced like MI. And that's really what we try and prep people for more so in this undergrad program, is responding to content and meaning and feeling. So, all right, so a little overview. So from now on, because I've used MI to pick mental illness on some of my documentation, but from this point forward, I will not do that. MI will forever be referred to as motivational interviewing, not because motivational interviewing is really long to write out, and I can come up with something. So the creators, Miller and Rolnick, and you'll meet Dr. Miller in a little while. This isn't old. It's been around for a little while. When I first started in the field, we were not talking about it. And really had its heyday since 2007, 2008, when enough evidence was up to really gain a lot of traction. And perhaps I didn't have a lot of experience in the earlier years, the early 2000s, before this coming of age, that I worked with a lot of people with substance abuse and mental illness. However, we do a lot of MI with non-substance abuse people too. So with somebody that just has mental illness, what do you think we might do? What kind of areas when we talk about somebody that has a mental illness might we use in the interview? Do you have any ideas? We don't need to convince them they don't have it. We don't need to help them discover they have an alcohol problem because they don't. They have a mental illness. What you might use motivational interviewing for? In that case, yes, Megan.
Maybe suggest a certain type of treatment facility or certain group.
Perhaps, really, motivational interviewing isn't something to get somebody to accept a certain type of treatment. Or you're going to say, Amanda?
Maybe explore or expose them to the benefits of change.
Good, better, Vika.
help them to motivate them towards accomplishing their goals.
Yes, even better. It could be used to kind of help facilitate any kind of change if the person is resistant. So maybe the person doesn't believe they have a mental illness. I don't have mental illness. I don't know why I'm here. The only reason I'm here is because I'm homeless. If somebody maybe with a thought disorder lacks insight, you might use motivational interviewing to help them sort of come to terms or see how it might be impacted. And the change there might be, okay, I'm starting to realize I might have something going on that explains some things. And, then maybe somebody go on a little further in the recovery.
So I'm going to say to help them with their cognitive perception, what they're doing. If it's, a mental illness.
Could be a mental illness, could be any other change, right? Somebody wants to stop smoking. Somebody wants to help fix their diet, So it could be with any kind of drug goal. Mainstream practice in a wide variety of populations, and really the defining factor is helping people that are in more of a pre-contemplation or contemplation move into the next stage, move to preparation and action. So the strategies themselves are really what we're going to focus on as in this introduction. There's just an overview of this is what it is. You can learn all this crap in not that long, a couple days training, but it's the actual getting good at it where you need ongoing practice, somebody that's skilled in MI to watch you do it, and immediately after be like, this is what you do well, this is where you could set here, I noticed you struggled a little bit here, you want to talk about that, and that's hard to do in the field, right? Because the people that are good at this, the higher level people that have been in the field a long time, and they're often supervisors or admins and people that, sad to say, but they have pulled in a lot of directions and don't always have time to provide observation, corrective feedback, and suggestions to newer staff. And that's a shame, because, as I said, it's really important. But it's not really fancy, as I'm trying to say, or complicated. It just takes time to do it over and over to feel like, okay, I understand what it is and what I'm doing. So the purpose, motivational interviewing, used with people that are struggling to make a change. So the people themselves as well as their helpers who are doing the strategies. So in the beginning, this is the way the book is outlined. Rosengren explained that phase 1 is helping people recognize the importance of why it would be a good idea, why it might be a good idea to make a change. And increase their confidence about making a change, improving their self-efficacy, and any kind of ambivalence. I'd like to change, but I got this thing though. A practitioner then helping the person figure out how to resolve that is a good way to kind of take that step. Phase 2. All right, now I'm going about it. I'm making preparation. Help me solidify my commitment to state and get it down in documentation, writing, etc., some kind of plan for accountability on both sides, right? So the person that's getting the help can't, slack off. And so the person giving the help can't slack off. We slack off too. Sad to say. Any questions? Has anyone seen real MI in practice? Anybody here? Say like, I saw somebody doing this, and now I know what it is, what it looks like. No? All right. Well, you're in for a treat tonight, folks. I was thinking I might do a role play with Sean to model it, but then I thought better of it. Maybe next week. Didn't prepare that much for that, but I have a video tonight of somebody. And it's the classic situation. The video highlights managing resistance, which is actually something we're going to talk about next week. But really, when the reason that you're usually using motivational interview with somebody is because they're resisting the change in some way. So anyone doing MI is going to should expect to encounter some kind of resistance. Like, oh yeah, that sounds all great, but insert any number of excuses after that thought. You go to All right, so this is funny. Some constants about change, which changes and is never constant. So what are some constants about change? One constant is readiness to change differs greatly. So readiness to change changes. Somebody might be really, really ready for change, bow down on their knees, saying in a prayer, say, please help me, I'll do anything to change. Just help me. And then you have your person that's mildly ready to change, and everything in between. So it's on a spectrum. Ambivalence, define for me what ambivalence is. Try.
When you're feeling both ways and see both sides about something, you don't really know where you stand.
Yep, you're unsure. You're not sure, should I make this decision? Should I stop drinking? Or should I keep drinking? I don't know. I'm ambivalent. I'm unsure. And I'm sure there's lots of things in our lives that we are ambivalent about right now, including why I'm here. Maybe I should leave. I don't know if I should stay here. I'm ambivalent. Hopefully I can motivate you to see where you stay. Change is nonlinear. Agree? Right? We've all kind of tried to make a change. Maybe had a relapse. You know, it doesn't have to be a change related to mental illness. I tried to make a change recently to do more journaling in my life. And I kept it up for a while. And guess what? It stopped. I'm not journaling anymore. I'll get back on track at some point, but my progress has been a slow and steady improvement. I started off not really good. I'm getting better, and now I'm just better than I've ever been. Wouldn't it be great if all of our changes worked out like that? Just a slow and steady improvement with minimal bumps in the road? We know that's not the case. And it's even harder with somebody that has, mental illness on top of the change that they're trying to make related to their substance abuse tendencies. So let's not forget that. And then it's not static, so it's going to move around. As we said, it's on a spectrum. So the person might be, begging for the change today, and tomorrow be a little more cool towards getting help. So with these constants in mind, these things are always changing day to day, hour to hour. It's important for practitioners to attend to. I forgot my word there. Can you lift the screen? Sorry. Yes. To attend to readiness often, much like a nurse practitioner attends to somebody's vital signs, right? It's something that they check pretty regularly. Got to know, hey, are you still alive? Think about you as a practitioner checking somebody's mental health vital signs. Like, still as ready as you were yesterday? Are you still cool with this change? You're still going? You're still with me here, right? Or I could see you're with me, or you're showing some signs that you might not be as invested in this change. I saw the other day. What do you say we talk about this a little bit? Explore. Now we seem like things are a little bit more ambivalent than they were the other day. Maybe because their readiness changed or something happened. Next slide. Okay, so we have the 4 elements of motivational interviewing. You will see the first one here again in your schooling here, especially ones that will be seeing me in practicum 2 specifically. But some practicum 1 we go into this. So practicum people, how many people had this on their professional development plan to improve in orders? Oh, everyone that's done practicum. So it's something that we feature heavily in the program. So what's the open-ended question? Somebody that's not done practicum? You don't know?
Tell me, describe to me, explain.
Okay, so you're giving me examples. That's good. So can somebody tell me, define what an open-ended is?
It's not exactly a direct question. It's a phrase that will lead your client to elaborate.
Yeah, so something not of the yes, right? So this is a struggle for some people when you get into your counseling session with people and you give somebody closed-ended questions or softballs. It's like, so, how'd that meeting work out for you tonight? Did you like it? Yeah. So if you just take off that did you like it,
Right.
how'd that meeting go for you last night? They can't just escape. It's like, yeah. Now they might just try to escape it. That was fine. Oh, what did you like about it? You know, oh. Or, no, really, it sounds like it wasn't that good. Why don't you talk to me? What about it did you not like? So, open-ended. Once you get into, this is one of the easier ones right from the beginning. Because it's kind of easy to figure out, oh, this is an open-ended, this is a closed question. Closed questions are going to lead to answers that are yes or no. So in order to get the person talking more than you, that's one of the goals. We don't want to talk more than the person that will be with. Ask a lot of open-ended questions, because you're going to ask questions, so what do you think about that? It's like one line. And then what do they have to do? They have to give you a whole paragraph. Hopefully. And if not, you may have to do what are affirmations? All right. That's a nonverbal one.
Affirm positive statements.
Okay. Yeah, good. So making positive statements or gestures to kind of get the person to continue to share, to build that rapport with the person. Be like, I'm on the same page with you. Affirm when you're hearing, you know. We talked about this with Asian groups, able to sort of recognize the positives, you know, even if the person's completely, you know, in the throes of addiction and not willing to make any changes, they still show up. So let's affirm their, you know, attendance. And also when they get to just the attending principles of attending, you know, one of them is kind of the nodding gestures, and that sort of affirms like, okay, I hear what you're saying, tell me more, I'm not looking on my phone while you're talking, crying about your wife and it's left you. Reflective listening, give me an example. So you're saying that reflective listening is part of yours. Okay. You sound confident that this is a part of it, yes. So reflective listening is the proverbial, so you're saying, it's reframing for the person what you just heard them say. Why do we do this? To let them know we're listening, so it does affirm that we're paying attention.
Make sure we're understanding what they're saying.
Yes. It helps us to make sure and clarify and be clear to the other person, like, I get it. Remember what I talked about when I said when you take notes in class or when you're reading your textbook, take notes. You don't write verbatim what is said, what was written. You write it in your own words, you put it in your own words and summarize it. Well, this is kind of good. Reflective listening goes into summary. So what I hear you're saying, let me make sure I have this down. So I'm going to say it in my own words. And then you're either going to do one of two things. You're going to nod your head. Derek, you nailed it. You know exactly what I'm saying or how I'm feeling. Or what are they going to say? No, I'm sorry, Derek. You reflected wrong. Actually, this is what I meant. I'll say, oh, wow, okay. Appreciate you clarifying, right? You learned a lot in those exchanges. So reflect back what you're hearing so that the person knows, hey, they're with me. The person actually is accurate in getting what the person is saying. And also, one more thing is when the person hears what they've just said, your sort of spin, sometimes it sounds a little different than what they just said. And it may trigger something. It might be like, oh, well, when you put it that way, it makes me think about my behavior. That's the third reason why we reflect, is when you can accurately summarize something at the end, it might present itself in a different kind of picture or image that the person had in their own mind. when it's coming out of the mouth. Okay, let us go to the next slide and we'll talk about MI principles. So we have an acronym, RULE, R-U-L-E, and what is the rule? R, we resist the writing reflex. Don't try to fix people. So, has anyone had this experience? Yeah?
That's me.
Can you share? Or no?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
This is what I was actually talking earlier about this kid with this case manager. And
He's young.
He's young, and he's 29, but he emotionally and psychologically, he's around his late teens. He just, was drinking so long he really stunted himself. And he's early in AA and is just feels very strongly about people not using anything, any drugs, anything in AA. He's been in maybe 35, 40 days now. And he was going on and on and on about his roommate who's a heroin addict who has been prescribed opiates. And I think that's right. I think that's probably the most foolish thing in the world that can happen. But she's not abusing them. She's using them as they've been prescribed. She's not snorting them. She's actually using them responsibly. And he's like, well, they shouldn't be in the house, and it's a danger to me, and it's this, that, and the other. And, it's very hard for me to not take him, and I want to shake him. And he's actually got my ire up once or twice to the point where I'm like, I can feel my hands shaking, and I'm like, I've got to calm down and not take it personally. So
the urge to you is just to kind of, you want to set it straight.
I want to set him straight.
Good example. People need to learn for themselves.
Yeah, they do.
And sometimes we, the profession attracts a certain kind of person. And a lot of times that is a helper by nature. We like to help people. It's in our nature. We're good at it. We like to do things that we're good at. And we like to see people not suffer so much. So help them, and we end up sort of over-helping. And it's in a sense enabling, kind of taking on more than you are really responsible. I learned something, it was sort of a saying, but that something's wrong when you're working harder than the person. So you're scrambling, it's like, oh, you're saying this, and you're doing all of the work, and the person is not doing as much. It's like, let's take a step back here and think about, what the motives here are, what the drivers are. All right, let's get into you. Understanding motivation, find it, help identify it, I think, and help recognize it. So if you can understand, this gets back to really knowing the person, what it is that truly motivates them to use or to drink, and the functional analysis would help with this, identifying the sources. You can then listen to them in sort of an observational kind of way, which we'll get into in a little bit. So you can help, if you can identify it, you can help them and recognize it themselves. In order to do that, you need to be able to really listen to somebody and empower them to make the change. Just, someone like instilling confidence in somebody. Otherwise, it does not happen. So the next one is MI spirit.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. And this one is a little bit hard. I'm going to spend another time going into this a little bit more. We have some other lectures devoted to motivational interviewing. But this is harder. This is, I think, one of the harder portions to train on, right? So I can teach people words. It's a little bit harder to teach the spirit of collaboration. In knowing when to say, hey, let's reach out to this other person. It's not so formulaic in that you do it in every single instance or with certain person in every experience. So it leaves a lot to sort of nuance and be able to find your way to say, oh, this is a time when I should be collaborating with somebody. And this is who to be collaborating with, so when and who. How to evoke. So when you're going to be responsible for listening to somebody, hearing something in somebody, and being able to draw that idea without saying it outwardly, so getting them to it. This is why it's hard. Because you could recognize something and be like, oh, what they're really talking about is this deep-seated fear, or whatever it is. Yeah, you could just be like, oh, I think what you're talking about is this. But you're either going to get resistance, like, no, that's not. Or it's not going to mean as much as if you can help somebody figure that out themselves. You know, I used to say it in terms of planting seeds. You know, if I really wanted somebody, you know, to make a big change, and it was only the beginning of the change, I might just start with just dropping a little, like, truth bomb, right? It's like, oh, well, we're going to be talking about this in a little while, and we're going to get back to this other topic that you're totally comfortable with. And it's like, wait, what did you say? Like, don't worry, it's weeks away. But it's like, it got them thinking. It's like, oh, okay, I only did that to evoke feeling and get them, because next time, now they've been prepared a little. Now the next time I talk about it with them, they'll have had some time to think about it. And maybe we might come to a solution. So this is hard, but just kind of think about it. It's like, you might know the answer. But if you just told them the answer, it's not as powerful as if they discovered it. Autonomy is a little simpler to understand. So it's basically not saying, hey, you should be doing this. It's not so much making suggestions or motivating. My job is to motivate you to change. It's more motivate you to see what is really going on here for the person to say, I'm going to take this step to change. And I'm going to do it this way. You know, leave the decision making on how the actual change is going to happen up to the person. All your job is, as a motivational interviewer, is to help them see the need for change and then strengthen that commitment. Phase 1, phase 2. And then the last part of my mind, so it was words, the principles, the spirit, and then change talk, which is going to be the focus of our next PowerPoint. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about it in our next one. Change talk is important. So the video I'm going to show you, so I'm going to show you 2 videos. I'm going to show you kind of an introductory video and another slide about motivational interviewing by one of the creators. And then towards the end of the change talk presentation, I'm going to play like it's about 9 minutes or so, like a role play, you know, a session of somebody doing motivational interviewing. And I want you to listen for the change talk. So it's the things that people would say make you think that person might be open to a change, that there might exist some kind of ambivalence. Like, yeah, I love smoking cigarettes, but you know, just the other day, I woke up and it's the first time I ever had trouble breathing. It's like, oh, there's some change talk. Because for the last 4 weeks, when I've been talking about smoking cigarettes with that person, all they've talked about is how great it is, how they can't give it up, how they rely on it for A, B, and C. And all of a sudden, I took that little thing that they said, oh, why don't you tell me more about that feeling that you had when you woke up? What did it feel like for you? Oh, it was terrible. My lung was closing up. You know, and that's where you go from it. It's like, oh, I saw that. When you hear somebody talk, that it's amazing. That person might be open to a change right now. You can't let it go. Those opportunities happen so rarely. That to miss the opportunity it's unfortunate. So when you need to be able to recognize it, like, hey, what they said is talk. There it is. You listed it. Hey, did you see what you just did there? You know, get them to kind of be like, oh yeah, I guess I am a little more open to change than I thought I was. Thanks for pointing that out to me, Eric. Get person to articulate reasons. So, what, now that you've had that experience with the shortness of breath, and you're thinking it might have to do with the cigarettes, what do you think might be a good way to solve it? Oh, well, maybe I can, start by cutting down. Oh, okay. Well, what do you think would be the reasons for that? You talk about the lung issue. It's like, well, my parents would be. Okay, now we're getting the person to talk more about why I need this change. Parents would get off the back, or I would save money. You can get the person to mention these things as opposed to you being like, oh, let me give you some practical facts about the fact. It's going to be much more stronger resolve in that person to see it for themselves. And then once they see it, strengthen the commitment, and you do that, a lot of encouragement, a lot more observations. Hey, I noticed that you've gone 3 days without smoking, and you smell great. I don't know, but make the observances and get the person like, wow, yeah, I didn't even think about that or notice that. Yeah, thanks. And that success that you notice in the person and observe and point out to them is going to instill confidence and self-efficacy, belief that they can do it, which is going to strengthen their resolve to do it more or to do it better. All right? Is that the last slide? Okay. So let me play my shorter video. This first one is about 4 minutes long. All right, so what do? Stop share?
This exit. Yep. Stop sharing.
And then I go to
minimize PowerPoint. So you press exit. Exit the slideshow. So escape.
Okay.
You're going to have to reshare the browser.
Oh, hold up. How do I do that?
Go to that.
Share screen?
Yep.
Desktop one?
No, curl.
Oh.
Could we start out getting a general overview of your revolutionary approach?
I don't know that it's revolutionary, but
Sorry, it's quiet.
often in the addiction field, the model has been put something into the person or change them or convince them or confront them. And this is more of a drawing out of the person approach. And you mentioned it. They want to, they don't want to, and they have trouble moving on fast today.
Yes.
And the way of helping people to resolve things. I don't know that it's revolutionary, but often in the addiction field, the model is maybe put something into the person or change them, convince them, or confront them. And this is more of a drawing out of the person approach. And you mentioned ambivalence just a moment ago. And it's a place where people get stuck. They want to, they don't want to, and they have trouble moving off that stage. And this is a way of helping people to resolve their ambivalence and move on quickly. It's both client-centered and directive, which is an odd combination in both times. But very interested in the person's own perspective, very concerned with how they understand things, what they want with their lives. And at the same time, it's not just following the person, it's moving the person along in the direction of change. In a couple of minutes, we're going to watch you work with a young man named Mike. Can you help us use, just to focus on what it is that they might be looking for in the work, some of the techniques or some of the strategies that you might be using? Well, besides the principles that I talked about before, the way that one usually opens a session like this is with an open question, one that invites the person then followed with reflective listening very much. You and I were talking how easy he makes this look. So it's important that the viewers know that there are really strategies that you use. Oh yeah, it does take a while for that. Also in the front end reflecting, and Roger speaks to what we're looking at. Yeah, in one of reflecting, I'm differentially reflecting back the client's own statements that are moving in the direction of change. Acknowledging the other side as well, but helping the person move along. There's acknowledgement of the person's freedom to choose, and there's respect for that position. Listening for the person's own motivation, for their own goals, for their own desire to change, and reflecting and encouraging and moving that along as we go, and providing the encouragement and the hope that that can happen.
And finally, very ambivalent.
Yeah, and that's not uncommon. For some reason, we pathologize that in the addiction field, but empathy is very human. And in fact, it is normal part of the change process. That when you go from not thinking about change to beginning to think about it, you might pass through a period of ambivalence. And it's just that that's where people get stuck. I think it's a particularly case because it's very aware of being there and very aware of how uncomfortable it is to be in the ambivalent place. And very aware it doesn't have to move one way or the other. You have to move forward and resolve the ambivalence by changing behavior, or move backward and resolve the ambivalence by shutting down and saying it is a problem. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm sure that my favorite ambivalent word is part of the life. All right, not sure what to think.
All right, so that is from the man himself. Let me just queue up the next video here. So have it. Okay. And then, so it's 7:43. So I'm going to do 10 minutes on this. I'm going to do 10 minutes on this PowerPoint, and then I'm going to show a video to kind of demonstrate the change talk for about 10 minutes. And then we're going to do a group activity and wrap up. Okay. New share. Okay, so everyone please note my brand new theme. It's not white, I just got it sent to me the other day, so I thought, what the hell, I'll use it. I hope you're impressed. So change talk, we started discussing it in the end of chapter 2. These are client statements that are made in favor of change. A lot of them are not obvious, like you're not going to come in and be like, we're going to be like, hey Derek, how's it going? I'm like, you can feel like changing today. Ray's going to be like, change talk. Got it. Tell me more about that. No, it's a little more difficult to pick it up. So you have to look out. So, you know, when somebody makes a self-motivated statement like, if I did this, things would be better. You're going to be looking out for it. And you're also going to be looking out for somebody that's oriented towards making some kind of positive change. What's aligning, right? You know, I went to the doctor the other day, and you know, they told me that if I continue smoking for, you know, the next year, that there's a good chance I'm going to have MS. And you know, maybe the following week I talk about, you know, how I'm running out of money, and you know, I need to make really major changes to my budget. You know, so make all of these statements that are like leading you to think like, oh, this person's gonna have to make some changes, and I might have a good in here to facilitate or move that change along a little more quickly by helping the person by recognizing that change talk. Attempted to elicit it if the person is not saying it themselves. highlight it to the person. Oh, I noticed you just said this. Did you realize this? And identifying and articulating reasons for change. So this is why it would be important for me to do this. This is the reasons why it would be important for me to stay in the same place, not change. So those reasons are important too. Miller, says something that's super obvious, but practitioners forget this all the time. Ambivalence is normal and change is hard. So it's more the exceptional role that people change. We have to be optimistic that everyone has the capacity to change and learn and grow. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of us struggle and fail. And if we fail, there's a good chance that people that we work with are going to struggle and perhaps fail as well. So you can't get up raising our arms in a tizzy when it's like, they won't change. I don't get it about this job. Why won't they change? Well, that's humanity. So, all right, next slide. All right, so 4 elements of change talk. It represents statements about change. So they may have the desire to change. It's like, if things were different, or I would be, I would really love it if this happened because this would mean things were different. Ability to change, whether the person thinks that they can or they can't. Somebody brings it up, you need to be exploring it. See the benefits or the lack of, and observe the difficulties, and then being committed or taking steps to get there. So those are the different types of change talk we'll get into in a little bit. Change talk is linked to a behavior or a set of behaviors and relates to something specific. Not like, I just need to make a change, kind of very general, vague statements. That might be a clue of some kind of more specific talk, but that in and of itself is change talk because it's not specific. You don't know what the change is in reference to. You're trying to make a lifestyle change, change related to sobriety, change related to your career. You want to explore with that person if they're making very vague statements about wanting to change. You're not sure in what environment or role they're referring to. If they're referring to multiple ones, then it's best to kind of focus on one at a time. It's very hard to get people to change, in multiple ways at the same time, right? We're going to make a change. A lot of times we have to kind of prepare for it. We may want to kind of tie up any other loose ends, before I'm ready to do this change, I need to do this first. So people need to get, prepare for it a little bit. And they have to know why it's happening. And usually it's good to start with one goal at a time rather than try and make a million changes at the same time. It often comes from the client itself, but it doesn't have to. And Rosengren is very particular about this. So if you hear something that sounds like change talk, but it's not, and you can reflect in a way that makes it changey, and the person says, "Yeah, that's what I'm saying," and it is change talk. So what this means is the majority of the time, what's coming from the person, the change talk is coming from the person. Sometimes you're able to elicit it by hearing what somebody said, reframing it, reflective listening in a way that really makes the change apparent, and then have the person agree with you. Okay. They weren't able to articulate it for whatever reason, but they agree with you when you articulate it. And then the last one's pretty basic. Change talk is referring to change in the present. So when you're saying I'm going to be making changes in, months from now, it's like, okay, well, what are we doing? What is going on right now? Are you doing any preparations? Is any kind of change happening now? Or, are we just revisiting this in a month? Or likewise, referring to the past changes that people have made, successes. Okay, you can affirm that that's really great, but that's not change talk if they're just talking about changes they've made in the past. Any questions about this? Yes.
So, like, in the population of people who have like severe substance abuse disorders, a lot of times they hang out with people who use some drug or whatever. So it's common that there'll be deaths because of it. And I would imagine that's a barrier to elicit change talk. Like,
Did you say deaths or deaths?
deaths. Like, you know, people will hang out with people and they pass away because of their drug use.
Yep.
And that's what I would imagine would be the most important time to be like, all right, now change, you know, change, but you can't say you need to change, you need to come on your own. So how do you elicit it when it's sensitive during that time?
Right. Well, certainly you want to get their feelings about the past, right? So a good scenario, right? Person has a group of friends, they're heavy opiate users, one of their good friends overdoses and dies, and you see the person you work with who hangs with that group, and you're talking to them, and you know, maybe you haven't had much success in doing motivational interviewing, and now the person is in sort of a vulnerable position, would you say? What would you say to them? You know? So what would you do? You would use words, right? So you would ask some open-ended questions. And Miller says, like, you don't have to start, you know, it's kind of general ending. It's like, so, you know, how's it been going? Or if you know something horrific has happened, it's like, so how are you dealing with this? You know, just get them talking. Just to start. What's going on, you know, get them to talk. And you might use, you might look at the ambivalent, the person might now finally be a little bit, you know, they haven't been all the trying to try, but now it's like, man, I just never expected that person to die.
I just find it difficult because when they're that severe, it's either one-sided. They either, you know, want to make a change for themselves, or because they're so severe, it's like, all right, I'm just going to end it. You know, and it's super sensitive. I feel like. Really,
and sometimes it takes a serious event like that for people to begin to make, you know, statements like this. And you got to be there when they're making them. Because, you know, if you let the opportunity go by, you may never get back. And you hope that you have the good rapport that they're making the statements to you, not just somebody who is an unsupportive person in their lives. So, all right, next slide. Okay, types of change talk. So we said there were 6 steps. So preparatory language, we have another acronym. Oh, darn. So what kind of change talk are we looking for? So when somebody's getting ready to change, they might talk about some kind of desire they have. It's like, oh, I'd love to change for this reason, because my parents would be more accepting. Or the ability to change. So again, this could be positive or negative. It's like, oh man, I would love to make this change, but I'm just not. It's like, oh, well, tell me more about that. You know, I'd love to hear why you think you're not able. You know, and the more you're going to talk, you might be able to articulate other things that come out, strengths of theirs that you might be able to illustrate them. So latch on when you can to somebody's optimism about being able to change, or you know, you got to really explore with them what are the negative reasons behind why they don't change. And then reasons, go on with the benefits, and then the need to change is something related to the status quo, what's going on now in the person's life. There's being something wrong with it, right? Otherwise, there's a good chance somebody's not going to want to change unless they're somewhat uncomfortable in the status quo. Like, I'm dealing with this horrific loss because this buddy of mine OD'd, and I'm not really feeling like the status quo is good for me right now. Like, this is maybe a signal. So this is all the preparatory language. And then once the person's gotten a little bit, you know, of, okay, I'm going to do this. Now we need to mobilize, you know, lash onto the commitment statements, strengthening resolve, and then, you know, all right, what do you think is the first step we can take together to get you feeling better? get the person to articulate it, don't suggest, well, what do you think, what do you say you do this? You know, if they have no suggestions, that would be the way, right? Take steps. Well, what's the first step you could take? I don't know. I have no idea. You know, then I might start to be like, well, you know, I might ask another follow-up question, you know, well, have you noted anyone else in this position? What steps they take, you know, to work. So, and if somebody really couldn't, I wouldn't just be like, all right, well, maybe next time we meet, you can bring me a step. I'm not going to be a jerk. You know, I would, if somebody was really desperate, struggling to kind of be like, you know, well, what do you think about this? But I wouldn't be so like, well, you should be trying this. There's a lot of overlap behind these statements. So the reasons for change can look very similar to the desire to change. So they don't always fit in perfect boxes. Next slide.
Just see how it's 7.
Yep. Mobilizing language. So again, those last two, commitment to change and taking small steps. It hopefully gives way. And then the commitment statement feature action words. Like, okay, I moved beyond prep into I'm going to mobilize, I'm going to do something. What are you going to do? Now we've talked a lot. Now it's time for some action. Okay? I will do this. I'm going to do that. Something concrete. I'm going to go to a meeting. I'm going to make this call. I'm going to tell this person so and so. They may be weak or strong. As we said, this is on a continuum. But it's a goal to act. I'm going to do something. I have a goal not to just, you know, think or talk anymore. I'm going to act. And this is often the time that signifies a change. A person moving from contemplation, I'm thinking about, I don't know, to, yeah, let's start. Do it. This is what I'm going to do first. Okay? Any questions? You may have questions about this because it seems so, when you don't see it in concrete, like, oh, this is what that looks like, and it's just me waving my arms around, then I can understand how it feels a little like fuzzy. So that's why I found this video today, and I thought it was pretty good in terms of showing people what these things actually look like in real life when somebody's practicing. Okay, so I remember I got to skip through the first minute and 20 seconds here. So they're setting up, this is like a role play situation, so they were outlining, like, oh, you want me to be resistant? Okay. All right, so now I go to share screen, Google Chrome.
Hey, how you doing? Good. All right. Well, so I got a little bit of information as to why you're here, but yeah, well, my wife basically just said if I don't get
it's 8 o'clock.
She's taking. Wow. Okay. So she's taking a pretty tough stance on it. Yeah. Yeah. She's said, you know, she's told me for a long time that she doesn't like it. Our kids said they don't like it. She's kind of threatened it, but I think she needs it this time. I don't really want her to leave, so. Okay. All right. So, pretty important to you. I mean, she's taking the same on it. The kids have said similar things. And now you're here. I mean, it's gotten to the point that you agree to go ahead and go into treatment. She's saying not just get treatment, she's saying quit. I mean, she's being pretty, yeah, she just wants me to stop. Pretty adamant about it. Okay. So, what do you think? Well, I'm thinking that I've been
question.
hard my whole life, and I should be able to drink if I want. I don't, I've never been arrested. I've done really good with the money that we have. We live a pretty good life. She gets to do what she wants, I get to do what I want. And this is just something that I want to do. So, it's been that I've been drinking since I think we met. Yeah, a very long time. So, I don't, I'm kind of like, I don't know what the deal is really. Okay. And I don't know what I want. Sometimes you feel, you know, I mean, it's like, you know, you work, you're responsible, you do what you think is expected of you. And so it kind of feels a little unfair to, you know, you're a man, you're a head of the household, you know, you're doing your duty. And it feels a little unfair to have people trying to dictate your behavior and telling you you've got to give this up. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't know what to do. Yeah. Usually if someone tells me to do, I tell them to back off. And so, but she's serious this time, so I don't know what to do. So, all right. Well, so I guess that's kind of that's the dilemma. On one hand, she's very adamant, she's very concerned, and is making her expectation very clear. On the other hand, you know, you're being asked to give up something that you don't particularly want to give up.
Just observations. It's not making any judgments.
So what do you think? Why do you think she's so concerned? Well, she's says that she's worried about my health. You know, so I have high blood pressure and that, you know, worried about my dad died of a heart attack at a really early age. So she's afraid I'm just gonna drop dead. And, you know, I outlived my dad by so many years. You know, and again, it's my life. Yeah. So yeah, certainly it's, you know, people can tell you what they want, you know, but ultimately it's up to, you know, your choice. So, you know, she can threaten you, and she can tell you that, you know, if you don't do this, she's gonna leave, and she can leave. You know, it sounds like you really don't want that, but you know, everybody's got their choices. Okay, so she's concerned about your health and has pointed out that you have your father, so he drank, and that's, but I was really little. Okay, when he died, so you're not sure if that became a heart attack. Okay. So you're not sure if that played a role in his heart attack or not. I mean, probably did. Probably drank some, but okay. So you're not sure about that. You know he died at an early age. She points that out as evidence that, like, you've got maybe a genetic predisposition to having health-related problems associated with drinking. Yeah. The doctor said I should quit drinking. The doctor, they know. Okay. You're not convinced. They told me that 20 years ago I need to quit drinking. Okay. So it almost seems like evidence to the opposite, right? If they told you quit drinking 20 years ago, and here you are, still alive, then I pretty much do whatever I want. No one can tell me. Sure, it's my whole life. That's the way it's been. I get everybody wrong. From everybody. Okay.
Being very resistant, bipolar, right?
So you feel like, you know, you beat me up. So I guess you could say that. Yeah. Say that. Okay. So I worked my way up. That's really high on my company for a decade. Okay. You already want to do it. So it's kind of, you know, the same, you know, you have this determination. You're the kind of person that, you know, you do what you trust your gut, and you do what you think you should do, and you know, you work really hard, and you've had a lot of success in your life. Right? It seems like in your job and with your family, the fact that you're a married man with kids, and you know, you've raised them up, and you know, I think there's no denying that you've had a lot of success in your life, and you know better than anyone how hard you had to work. So, and she doesn't get it. She doesn't, I don't think she recognizes how hard I've worked for her to have what we have now. Okay. You know, and I wish she'd just let me live the life I've always wanted to live, you know, and part of it's drinking. I like drinking. So. Okay. All right. So she's got all these concerns about it. How do you, and you mentioned your kids have some concerns too. They talked about it. Yeah. I mean, what is your sense of, and it sounds like so far you feel like, well, I've beaten the odds, and I'm this kind of guy. Like, I'm always the kind of guy that sort of pushes the envelope and, you know, has proven a lot of people wrong over the years. And so you're very skeptical when anyone tells you that drinking is going to kill you. Like, it's almost like if somebody tells you that, you're going to say, you know, you're not going to believe that. I mean, you just don't believe that's the truth. Well, I would, yeah, because it might kill other people, but I'm not going to. So what, if anything, in what they're telling you, do you believe in terms of like any possible negative effects that it may have? Obviously, it has not killed you. You're just standing here right now. Yeah. Okay, so it hasn't killed you. But do you think, have you seen any, do you think there's anything, any validity to what your wife is saying is in the doctors with regards to having a negative effect on your health or otherwise? I mean, just very honestly, if you sit there and you look back and kind of go, well, is there anything that you think that is going on that is valid? Now, if I tell you what I'm really thinking, are you going to tell me why? No. I mean, confidentiality is such that I want you to feel comfortable talking to me about this, but I think I think you kind of get it, you kind of understand me. So I appreciate that. My son's in AA, okay, and when he went into his treatment, and he really was hard on me. Like he said that he blamed me for him, going down that path, and I really felt like maybe I could have done more. He and I were really close, and now we're not as close because I can tell he just doesn't like to be around me because I drink. And my daughter, she sent me a letter a while ago. Saying that she loved me and that she didn't want me to die, and she wanted my kids to be around her, or her kids to be around me, but she didn't want them around as much because she didn't like they want to drink. So yeah, I've had those couple of things that made me go maybe I need to rethink this. And then I'm gonna lose my wife, and that's really I just don't want to lose her. I just don't lose her. But gosh, I really appreciate you feel comfortable sharing these things with me, and I can see that this has been very painful for you, and I can't commend you enough for being willing to put yourself out there and come in and trust this process. I really appreciate the fact that you've done that. Thanks for talking again. You're a straight shooter. All right, I really appreciate that. Okay, thank you very much.
All right. What did you notice?
There was a lot of affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a question in between that where you are the professional and you just started out. It seemed like in the beginning, he threw a lot of, or throughout the interview, he threw a lot of, oh yeah, I understand. And he was throwing a lot of affirmation where it's like he was almost okay with the client. Yeah. Like, oh, do what you can do what you want. When do you know how to switch the line up where you're asking them, okay, this is affecting you? Because the counselor was a professional, right? That's what I'm saying.
That's where the practice and the feedback and the observation. You just got to try it, and hopefully it's in a safe situation, like a role play at first, see how it goes, right? That guy was really skilled. He knew how to do motivational interviewing. He knew when to be like, all right, yeah, you're a man. You're controlling yourself. This is also like you sort of have to do instant rapport building in a sense, because the person, probably hasn't had a lot of time with you, doesn't really trust you, so you have to do a lot of that at the beginning. First, you want them to open up. This role play, you got him to open up and say anything that he probably wouldn't have said. Who else? Impressions. What did you think, Amanda?
Definitely had his own rhythm to what he was saying. Like he made it look very like he was talking to them. Yeah, it's formulaic, but it was very natural and it flowed very nicely. And I think there was some elements of change talk, but it was a little hard for me to pick out.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. Where was the change talk? Megan.
Well, I think it happened when the client was talking about how the doctor said, oh, I need a change, but what does he know? And then the interviewer had some way of phrasing something like, well, you know, your doctor says this, your wife says that. The client then had like a change in his head, I feel like, and he mentioned, maybe I need to think this when he was talking about his daughter, how he didn't have contact or whatever.
So he says, you know, you're going to share this with my wife. And that's like, for me, it's like, ooh, red flag, ooh, something juicy. Old shit. Okay, yeah, I'm totally confidential. And he talks about his son. His son's in AA and how hard it was, you know, and then he talks about the daughter. And then he talks about, I just really don't want to lose my wife. That last, like, 45 seconds of the video, that's where the change talk happens. There's really none up until then. Maybe somebody heard a tiny little smidge, but I mean, it was pretty obvious when things shifted, right, to that. You know, you're a pretty straight shooter, so I'm going to give you this information because I trust you. I thought it was a good example of both really skilled person, the kind of resistance you could expect, you know. Now, maybe that guy would have gone and just continued to be resistant. Okay, great, end the session. Pick it up next time, you know, and you hit him again. You know, you get some more feelings being shared. All right. So, it is 8:13. We have a short exercise. I will have you done by 8:30. We're going to be in our groups. And if you have your Rosengren book, you're not allowed to use it. All right? Good. So, there's a front and back to this. This is one of the exercises in our workbook this week. You can email it to me.
Yeah, I sent it to her.
All right, so group 1 over here, group 2 over here.
Nina's
It's in group 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone have one? Okay. So there are 5 questions here. 5 little vignettes. So what you have to do.
Hey, Nina, this is the PowerPoint. Not the PowerPoint.
Is it changed
The document I sent to you.
Huh? The
Ask
document?
what kind and provide a response that would reinforce it.
The document that I sent to you.
Write a question that would evoke realistic.
Email? You sent it in the email? I didn't see it.
Yes, it was in the email I sent to you.
Okay, hold on.
So, any questions on this? You're not allowed to look at the answers.
Thank you.
Sorry, Amanda. My wordage here.
Okay, I'm going to put you in your group.
Okay.
Hi, Nina.
Hi, I can't see you guys because I have my email open, but I can hear you.
Now you can see us?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, it's because I have my email open so I can see the document.
Okay.
I don't have the little window there.
Okay, so you have the exercise or you don't have it?
I just got it. That's what I have open.
Oh, okay, so the first one is not change talk?
Hold on.
So we have to write an evocative